Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Naraka Blade Point Morus Cup Season 2 Semi-Finals. I'm Nathanius, joined by Odin. Oh, hey there, Runekeeper. It's good to see you, buddy. Glad to have you on for the trios. How are you today, sir?
It's good to be back, baby. Y'all killed it out here on these solos. I'm excited to jump into these trios and see what these boys bring into the table this week.
That's right. We know we were talking about how things changed on the solos front. The point change, of course, happened for trios as well. Odin, that means we've had a lot more aggressive games, even in the team mode. Even though we talk about how you run into that risk of getting that 1v3 situation, there's still a lot of reward for taking those early engagements, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Especially early on when people are still looting up. If your team is coordinated enough, you catch those free kills early on. It's such a big boost to your point total for the rest of the game if you can just secure a place later on. Of course, you know, in trios, we know we have the soul altars on the board for the first zone, and it makes a big difference in the way that people play it out. But of course, like you said, this point system being such a different point system to our first season has encouraged so much more aggression. And although we did see some high kill games early on in trios in season 1, it was so much more intense in our last week's game, and I can only imagine it's going to be just as intense this week.
That's right. And of course, as you can see with the format, like we were talking about, that multiplier for the kills is going to kick in stronger and stronger the later that you make it into the game. For first place and second place, your placement-based points, it's only a little bit, right? But that multiplier, of course, is what's going to really be able to help you set yourself apart, getting those kills. And I didn't mention this during the solos, but just in case anyone's wondering, players are allowed to compete even if they're already qualified for the December Grand Finals, since, as we've mentioned, there's still cash on the line. It's just, you know, the next man, woman down below them on the roster would get the qualification spot. So we still have great reason to see everybody coming in here. No one's slacking, no one's holding back. And Runekeeper, I think it's setting us up for what should be an awesome trios match today.
Oh, absolutely. Like Odin was talking about, you've got those reses available in trio, which makes a huge difference compared to solos. And we talked a little bit about it last week, right? You want to be aggressive early. You want to get those kills on the board. If you can do that, even if it costs you your reset early, you've got that padded score. You can ride it out, play it safe to the final zone, and then try to rack up some kills in those final zones once you've got that multiplier under your belt. And these players are been showing since the format change how crazy they're willing to go, and we have seen some players play hyper aggressively. We're talking like no armor and half a tick of HP, turning around on kills, picking up 1, 2, 3 kills. And even in the last round of solos tonight, right, we saw the first place person go out with a couple kills, but that second place person took every single one of those fights, racked up huge kills, and set himself way ahead of the pack. So I can't wait to see what trios is going to look like.
Yeah, and as we get ready for that game, I guess another question we'll bring out. You know, we talked about how we got to see Valda finally making her appearance in the solos today. Gentlemen, are we expecting to see her finally brought into the fold for the trios? Maybe some of those wombo combos that we were talking about?
The changes that she got have made her kit a lot more reliable. She's more versatile, and I think just the power of her being stronger on her own, in addition to the fact that she has the ability to just completely lock down a player. You know, last week Rune mentioned the strength of the combo between Valda and Viper, being able to auto stun somebody. It's very reminiscent of the setup with Tarkji. With Temulk and Viper. So we'll probably see more of her this week. I would be very surprised if we don't at least see 1 or 2 in trios. But like we talked about before, players are very confident with the teams they've already been playing. They've been winning with them. They've been getting placements. I don't expect to see the top teams change their strategy or comp up very much. What do you think, Rune?
I think we're going to see a lot more Valda this week. Again, that combo we talked about before, it's very high risk, high reward, right? Matari kind of negates the Viper out, but we're not seeing as nearly as many Mataris in trios as we have been since all of the changes. And Valda's ult being twice as fast on startup now, being able to more consistently land it, instead of using it as a defensive tool, being able to use it as an offensive tool, and it being so strong in a team-based environment, I think it would be absolutely crazy if we didn't see more of her this week.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. I mean, we were talking about the weaknesses before, not being able to land it, but getting a little more consistency on that has been huge. So with that, Runekeeper said, since we didn't get to talk to you so far today, I'll pick your mind a little bit more. Is there anything else that you're interested in as far as changes or meta developments going into the trios this week? Is there something that maybe we won't be expecting that that actually will end up happening, or just interested on your thoughts on just where Naraka is as a whole right now?
So Dagger saw some more changes this week, right? Some really strong changes. A lot of players starting to favor it over the longsword, which has been the meta for the longest time. The longsword seeing some slight consistency changes, not the things that we expected to see. Of course, the toothpicking still being a thing, but Dagger has become so very strong with these changes. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in trios, whereas the Dagger is very much an all-in weapon, right? In a 1v1 situation, it's very hard to beat that Dagger. It's very strong if you know the combos, especially with Valda's new bubble, her ability to jump back and catch people in these infinites. But with what we're seeing in trios, that weapon can be a detriment when you're trying to force those 1v1s. You can end up away from your team and then end up being 3v1 very quickly if you're not careful, because of the amount of damage the Dagger does. It does a lot less damage, but it can string those longer combos together. You're gonna end up in those situations where if you're not careful, you just get destroyed because you're too hyper focused on landing those moves and you forget, oh, we're in trios. This is a team game now. I can't 1v1 these fights.
It's better in a vacuum where you're in those 1v1 situations. It's definitely like the second you forget that there's somebody else you got to deal with and you're just focused on, like you said, trying to get those crazy combos off, dashing around, zipping around. You run out of stamina, all of a sudden you're in the middle of three people and you go, wait. How do I get out of here again?
I was gonna say, Odin, we actually got to see a couple of really good Dagger plays in the solos earlier, so the expectation on maybe a little bit more use of that is definitely warranted.
For sure.
Yeah, and I guess beyond that, is there any other composition then that we think synergizes really well with Valda? You were talking about the Viper ult. Of course, we know if you can hold people in place for that and you let the channel go through, that's going to give you devastating damage. But is there perhaps something secret that's been in the works, or that we're perhaps not really giving enough consideration towards?
So I don't know if
Maybe
the
not
meta
so
has...
much. Sorry,
go ahead, Odin. Okay, I don't know if we're going to see it this week. I do anticipate seeing teams bring Karumi back in. Karumi has kind of been, especially towards the end circle, a little bit more of a detriment than she is a support to her team. That ultimate being able to be set on fire by Tarka and Tumulk, right, has been really devastating for teams that have been running her, especially when you're talking about a small zone. There's not a lot of space. But the small change this week where flame arrows and the flamers can't set those off unless you force the Tarka or the Tumulk into your comp, unless you're already running it. The Karumis have a lot safer way to use their ultimates now, right? You're not running into those final circles where you're getting those gold boxes, those Moruses, and you're guaranteed the flamethrower, or those people who are running flame arrows can just pop it from a distance. It's much safer now and much more consistent. It obviously still countered by Tarka and Tumulk, but I would be very surprised if we didn't see some teams picking up Karumi just for the utility.
You agree, Odin? I'll be honest, I love Karumi. She was the first character that I was playing when I was learning the game. I was like, oh, I can heal myself. Thank God, at the very least in a fight you have this, but are we gonna see her more maybe in a little bit here?
You can't discount how strong the ability to res somebody with the tether is, especially because they come back with more health than what a regular res would give you. And she does still have the instant ult that is a total like pace changer in the middle of a fight. You could basically have a whole team dead and she suddenly pops the ult and brings everybody back in, completely shifting the focus of the fight. So I still think she's very strong. Whether she'll be a staple for every team like she was in the past, I don't think so. There's definitely a lot more powerful offensive comps right now that I think people are tending to favor, so maybe not so much.
It's a really interesting thing to consider because, you know, when we're talking about with the changes to the format, obviously people have been a lot more aggressive. They've been trying to bring it a bit earlier. So I was kind of wondering, you know, whether that Karumi tether ends up being valuable or not. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see as the game is ready. Odin, Runekeeper, do your thing. See you guys on the other side.
Appreciate it, Nate. Talking about the comp changes, or I guess the compositions that we're going to see, one of the things I wanted to point out is that solos, we saw way more greatsword than we've seen in the past. And I think people are getting a little bit more used to using the greatsword in different capacities and also mixing it up with other weapons. We saw in like the early beta tournaments that people were doing that, where they were using the greatsword with another weapon. It was a very early infancy type of thing, but it's now become a lot more common. And the greatsword is a kind of, it's a super powerful tool if you can use it without being noticed. Oh man, wait a minute. While we're talking here, a team actually going down.
McFlurry's team
like
over here.
Team.
Yeah, knocking Stolly's team out. They're going to have to get the reset and go res somewhere. But like you're talking about with the greatsword there, of course, we, like you said, in the very early beta, ooh, Jeremiah here, just will 1v1's team, just sticking to him 3v1, saying, go ahead and get out of here. Kairosim coming in on the King, though, catching a nice uppercut. King, great use of the Wisp startup to go ahead and get in the air and get above that combo. But Kairosim catches the parry. It is onto him. King recovers the katana. Cairo going in, gets the charge. King nowhere to go, no stamina. And Kairosim's going to claim him.
Cairo now on the back foot, though, as he pops that bell, trying to break up the action from Will. Nice parry there as he does go to the dash. Huge combo damages. He's got that purple katana. Getting picked up by his teammate in the background, though. This is getting hairy. Everyone is low, and they're just looking for an opportunity to break off and heal. Cairo actually going to get this heal off on the wall as his opponent gets knocked back by that charge right click from the longsword.
That huge heal for Cairo, absolutely massive. He was 1 second away from being dead there and either forcing to eat the reset or his team having to res him, and he just, teammate slides in with that charge right click and saves him.
Yeah, nice teamwork there. They covered well for Cairo as he was able to get that heal off, and it was really last second that he did get it off. Rizzo was chasing him around the corner there and was actually a hit away from getting him, but he couldn't get up the wall to find the connection. The Soul Altar not out at the front of the temple, so they're not going to have to worry about them instantly, but of course, in the back of your mind, you know that team is going to come for revenge.
Absolutely. And I mean, how do you not cover Cairo in that situation? He just 1v2s one of the biggest teams with Will 1v1 there, and, you know, almost goes down. He's carrying the team at that point. You definitely cover him. Crazy Mad Tacos here just escapes the Viper ult with a single tick of HP the very last second. YBS here, very strong competitors from last week as well.
Yeah, he does manage to get away, but his two teammates go down in the process. They're going to go ahead and release. It looks like they're going to head up to the Soul Altar and meet up, but I don't know if K-Taco is going to get out of there. Actually, K-Taco turning around and getting a kill onto Jano, dude. In the meantime, he was on a run, and he just turns around and picks up a kill. Impressive stuff.
K-Taco and Soul over here. Different taco in the brain, by the way. That was Crazy Man, but K-Taco definitely over here cleaning it up with his team.
Too many tacos.
So many tacos.
What do we have here?
K-Taco picking up a nice little purple armor. Yeah. These boys, you know, cleaning out one of these big areas, right? And surviving these fights is huge, especially if you're playing aggressively and picking up these kills, like obviously Taco's team was doing here. You just end up, look at the stats here. Like, he's rocking the purple dagger, purple armor. Soul over here with the legendary armor. They still have their reset on the board. If they run into another team from like Celestra or something like that, they have the pick of the loot here. This is a great zone as well because you can push into so much. Voxel here caught up in the air.
Yeah, Voxel's team actually went out early there, but they're now controlling this upper tower there. They knocked somebody off, and now they have control of the ballista, which immediately does huge damage. Casper's team getting lit up by the Tarka Fireball as well as the ballista.
Hero goes down. Casper and Nostrada in a sticky situation. Casper using the ult to try to get the reset. Doesn't matter. Their tumult comes through right after him. Uses the wisps to get up. Is it enough? He can't seem to recover and catch a pot up top. But Nostrad's going to go down for it. Casper gets the two pots off.
Yeah, he gets away. Like you said, Nostra went down in the process. It's tough when you're in that situation because you kind of have to like communicate with your teammate whether or not you're going to commit. You know, everybody's been in that situation where you're low and you have to back off. But if you do, you're putting your teammate into a really bad spot because they have nobody to back them up. But at the same time, you go assist them, you get caught in like, you know, a Nez's Might or something, and you both die there. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a tough situation no matter who you are.
Luckily there though for Casper's team though, they still had the res, right? So I think Casper made the right call. Get up, get those pots off. Even if no raid goes down, they can choose a soul altar to run to, and Casper can meet him. Still have some kind of gear to be able to cover them as they res at the soul altar. It's a tough decision to make in the heat of the moment, right? You have to coordinate with your team and just make that decision. And sometimes it's a split decision. So at last second, you just have to make it. Rez coming in here. King goes down into the Yodo F. We see one Tamok ult canceling the other.
Oh, this
Rezo
is huge, though.
using the
Rezo
ult.
popping that. All he needs to do is find one connection onto his opponent, but the Vajra is coming out in the background in the meantime. Kairos him looking to pick up Rezo. Rezo getting comboed in the back, and those tracking wisps chasing him down.
Oh no, Rezo just stuck in the zone here while they're rezzing. Will 1v1. Rezo, no way to pick up the team here with the Varja covering this.
That was so close. He almost got picked up by that. This is chaos. I can't believe they're all taking this fight in the zone. Nobody willing to back off. I think Team 9 here is pretty confident that they're going to win this one. All they need to do is find the kill onto Will, and King is down out there. We don't know what the res situation looks like for the team. Nice headshot from Panda as he picks up the kill on a Will. 2 well-placed shots, finishing off that extended fight out here in the zone.
What an amazing shot. And of course, Panda out here with the legendary musket. You know, we've seen the meta shift drastically from the bow to the musket with the simple changes being made to the musket 2 patches ago. And these players have gotten so confident with these shots. You have to trace it different than the bow. Even with the changes and the increased velocity speed, you still have to trace your opponent and call out where they're going to be. You've got to get that predict. And these players just showing how confident they are with it now compared to a week ago.
Yeah, the increased velocity definitely making it a more consistent weapon, much closer to the original beta when it was a kind of the Reign of Terror weapon. Although the bow was very good in the original beta as well. But yeah, I agree. The changes overall have certainly made the musket start to stand out more. But here we see Fight Me More popping the ult inside. This is what we talked about last week. You brought up the combo of the Tamok plus the Yorihime. It's such a strong ult combo. So hard to deal with, and you see the damage they pumped out because of it.
Absolutely. And of course, Fight Me More here, one of our fan favorites, just going at it, doesn't care. And again, the aggression we see here, even though they don't have res, Crazy Mad does have res. This team just trying to pick up these kills as hard as they can go. Ooh, Fight Me More catches a charged upcut right there. 1 tick of health, dodges the fireball, and is going to slide right into that greatsword swing, though. Mad City Mike here, 1 hit away from dead.
Oh, no way he got away with that. And he gets the parry? Are you kidding me?
No way!
Charmin, are you serious? What an incredible clutch. I cannot believe he not only got away with the stone form, but he also parried into the combo. Tarmin, his team has got to be cheering for him in Discord right now. What an amazing 2v1.
Oh my, we talked about these players. We see a lot of people, look at this, longsword and greatsword. These players, the greatsword can't be discounted in trios, right? It's such a good weapon for fighting in those 1v2 situations because of the stone form. And if you're not expecting that stone form, if you're not playing slower like the greatsword forces you to, you can be caught off guard with it. And we just saw a classic example of why the greatsword is tending to see favored as a secondary carry weapon now.
It just has the ability to deal so much damage in such a short period of time. Now we just see the Soul Altar flare effect there as the reses go off the board. Shadow 2 closed up here. So now what we see is what we get. 41 players left alive. It is already chaos as we're missing 19 people this late in the game. Although it looks like somebody did just get picked up from their cairn. 42 people still alive. It does show that that life off the board when they're in cairn form.
YBS here with the bounty on Sei Matcha. Looking to engage on the... Is this Buddha's team? Yeah, we see Trick out here. Trick did a fantastic job in trios last week. Just setting some great fights up for the team. And even though when they go out, their team cleaning up what they started here.
Yeah,
did somebody stun that
too.
Viper?
I think he actually just got out of range of the tether at the last second there because you can see how far away they are back there. It looks like they might be going for the reset here. as Team 12 here popping the Vajra. Ooh,
No
nice
straight
connection there.
again.
Gets them both.
No,
Are you
the
serious?
double.
Just
Here
like
on
that?
Straight. One hit. If either of them get picked up here, they go down. Over the edge here, back into the mine. The perfect place for Hero Nostrade to get away from that fight right now.
That was sick. That was such a clutch grab because it allowed them to get their other teammate off and completely swing the tide of that fight.
Look, if Nostrade and them had even had one tick of damage on them either, that would have been a death sentence. With no reses either, Casper and Nostrade would have had no way to come back from that.
Ooh, actually, that was really nice bum there. Actually managing to pick up the kill. Unfortunately, it looks like his team goes down there, but Nostrade getting hit back there by Pony.
Hero in the 1v3. Can you pull it out here? We're going to see the Yoda ult come down here.
Something actually kind of using the focus dash there to get through the wind wall. I'm not sure what that was. I don't know if he realized that he is Timolk, doesn't have to worry about his own wind wall. But he actually disengages there. He's got a Kurumi tether to him, who's a bit low. Pony still dead in the middle of that gorge there, but they're going to have to maybe take a little bit of time to get healed up here before they re-engage. But Team 4 not giving them the break that they need. Now in a 2v2 here. Both picking up at the Meowie. Oh, and a parry onto something long. Not able to pick up his weapon in time before he gets juggled. Return parry, are you serious?
Just doesn't connect, though, because the rest of that team, Team Meowie here, just on point.
That was insane. The back and forth parries into the clashes there. That was ridiculous. It looked for a second like they were actually going to turn that around, but then the third member of Team 4 showed up to secure that, and I think you're right, he clashed with him and didn't give him the opportunity to get the parry on the follow-up there. Man, that was close. That was actually going to be a bad situation for Team 4, but the follow-up there from March, I believe, is what kind of secured the kills there.
Oh,
now
yeah.
King here over by Celestra.
Yeah, we talk about how strong that stone form is on the greatsword, right? You can set up some combos for it. It's also extremely punishable because if you play slow into the greatsword, it's very easy to bait that stone form into a parry and then just get dominated with the riposte and eat a full combo to the face. But likewise, in situations like that, we saw it getting ready to go out. He was trying to get it off, and before the gold charge could come up, he just catches it and forces it back into a stone form reset, and was just enough damage to end their life there.
UP, it looks like their team had a very unfortunate engagement. They were split up around the outside of the tower. And guys, this is just what happens when you're playing at this caliber. They were split up for no more than 5 seconds. Like, UP could have gotten over there almost immediately, but he was just far enough away that it gave them the opportunity to jump in with the 2v3, immediately pop ults and just go nuts. UP was going to try to get away and get placement, but it doesn't look like he's going to get a chance.
McFlurry's team here in the 3v1. The great fireball from UP, though. Knocking all of them back down. No fireball left on the board for UP, though. The 3v1, and it's McFlurry's blender. There's no way you get out of that. Nice try from UP, though. The fireball was a great effort, but just couldn't make the difference.
Yeah, it gave him some space. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with triple grapples, the only real answer to it is like extremely well-timed dodges, dagger, or just turning around and clapping back with a charge attack. And of course, he had a longsword. It's not an impossible feat to get them off of you. You know, we've seen situations where players are getting chased down hardcore, and they're able to do just enough damage to discourage the team from chasing them down. Unfortunately, UB was not able to make that play happen. So now we're looking at 31 players left alive as we come up to Zone 3.
YBS here moving very quickly. That legendary greatsword, you can't discount that. Zenon's team and Soul over here both rocking double legendary armor, a legendary greatsword. These teams out here extremely stacked. K-Taco with the full legendary squad out here on K-Taco's team. McFlurry's team here catching YBS out.
This could be huge for them. There is the ult behind him, and I think this Viper doesn't realize that he's about to run straight into that wind wall. Trying to answer back. Nice. Connects with the charged right click. Doing a little bit of damage like we were talking about. But, he's so dangerously low as the tether comes up. This is chaos. It's anybody's guess. YBS looks like they might be turning this around. McFlurry is stunned, and he's about to take huge damage from these charged right clicks. Actually, wait a second. Alan Lord's team goes out there after they almost immediately wiped Team 14. It was just an instant turnaround.
as a monk, it's a nightmare scenario to be in. The Viper ult comes out, you panic ult, you're like, all right, I gotta reset, and my health is low, and then you see that weak point, that big glowing spot on your leg, and you know there's nothing you can do if that team coordinates. You're the only one left alive. They all come in and do the charge right click on the katana, and we just watch McFlurry go down.
That was wow. They had the advantage right there, and with the wind wall up there, the Viper was running up to support his team, but didn't realize. But the Viper actually landing that tether at the last second there made such a big difference. And of course, Frown Lord going down at the last second, right before the tether popped too. It was kind of at that point they were running on a timer. They had to kill the team before that tether came out, and unfortunately, they weren't able to. Team 14 securing the kills there, taking out the top seeded team. Big plays for them.
Forgotten Lord's got to be kicking himself right now. When he landed that grapple onto the Viper and did the spin up, he actually canceled the spin into a dash to try to land the slam, and that Viper walked away with 1 tick of HP and then popped her ultimate. He's got to know that if he hadn't canceled there and connected, that he would have ended that Viper, and instead she did exactly what a Viper does. 1 tick of HP, pops it, and just manages to completely turn that fight around for her team.
Oh man, chaos out here at the bottom of the towers. Look at all these great swords clashing. That Yoda Hime is going to cause chaos in the middle of this fight. K-Taco running straight through that wind wall, chasing after King. Ooh, one more hit's going to do it. King threatening with the charge there, but this fight now dispersing as K-Taco just trying to catch King, not letting him get away with those grapples for free.
King is lost by K-Taco for just a second. He sees his team in trouble. He's going to retreat and come back to make sure that they're all right in this situation. Zeno no longer got the Yoda ult.
Yeah, this is smart from K-Taco, actually, because they know that Rizzo's down. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did Rizzo just get picked up? Do they have a Karumi? This is huge. If they can escape here, they can get a complete reset after what looked like certain death there. K-Taco just looking to execute with the ballista here. Crazy man sneaking up on in the distance there as well. We see him just by himself.
Got the Bane's Breath going down right here on the edge of the circle as well. We've got Zone 3 is closing up. We're going to be into Zone 4 here soon. Team 3 here cleaning up a fight in their own Bane's Breath. Saber in an interesting situation gets a great charge right click out from the spear onto Balrog. Zhang chases that kill down.
We're going to see nothing but high coordination teams at this point. We know that the players that have made it this far know what they're doing and they're comfortable with their teams. We're going to see a lot less willingness to be super aggressive this late unless teams have resources and ults, though, because the threat of that third party is so prominent as this zone closes in. Of course, like you said, we're only coming up to the close of Zone 3, so we've got Zone 4 just on the horizon. But as that space dwindles, the risk of getting run up on by another team increases with every minute.
Team 3 here looking to engage on K-Taco's team, but again, K-Taco there with the all gold armor is extremely intimidating. But like you said here, like Team 3 opting to back off from this, it's that point in the game where the zone is so small, the third parties are inevitable. You have to be
crazy mad. He's hiding in the bush, and he actually... Wait a minute.
Oh,
he
crazy.
gave himself away there for a second. He gave himself away. It looked like they didn't know he was there. Wait a second. Wait.
Noir backing
Am I seeing
off
what
there.
I think I'm seeing? I think that was a... What? That was a ballista shot? And it missed crazy? That's such a lucky shot. Because he was in the bush right next to the teammate there. If that had been just like an inch to the right, that would have knocked him out of the bush and been the end of his run.
So we talked about, the third parties, right? Knowing that they're up the hill, I think they made the right decision to just back off that engagement, knowing that K-Taco's team has got the high ground, they've got the ballista. Don't risk your entire run to kill the solo hiding in a bush. No fair here, getting shredded by Team 5.
The gold repeater, like an LMG, just mowed him down. That was ridiculous.
Mao's team here
damage.
with Saber just, you love to see it. By the way, talking about being stacked here, Mao with the legendary repeater and greatsword into the legendary repeater again. We see the Targa ult come out, the Viper ult come out. Mao says, I'm out of here, abandoning his team.
Saber's so
is
screwed.
just done. Nowhere to
Nothing
go.
you can do there. So screwed.
Mouse
We
team
were
on the
talking
back
about this
foot.
2 seconds ago. Those third parties on the horizon, and as this zone closes, look, there's not a lot of space left on the board. We are on zone 4, but when there's 3 people in a single spot, that space can be covered so quickly. You can spread out and look for all these people to pick off. And of course, you know, when you've got 3 people chasing you down, how do you get away? We're about to find out if this man can make it work.
YBS wants this kill, is going to secure it. Yeah, the ballista from up top, K-Taga's team controlling this. It's very hard to actually climb up that tower and counter those. Because not only do you have the ballista raining down on your team on approach, but trying to go up top, you can just eat those charged right clicks and you have no chance to parry while you're climbing up from clinging to the side of the wall. So it's just, there's not much you can do. T-Fuzz here, trying to use the Matari teleport, double teleport against the teleport distance, slightly shorter on the double teleport now after last patch, is going to get up the hill and get a pot off.
Yeah,
Hides
T-Fuzz
in the
and
busher.
Daxi got picked up by the combo there. Oh, wait a minute.
YBS!
Saber and company coming back with revenge, turning it around. Saber went down there from the P90 combo, and now they actually come back and pick up the kills on the YBS. One more hit onto this player is going to do it. Nice connection there as he was trying to threaten with the charge right click. That's huge for Team 5. They were almost out, but they managed to sneak back and res Saber, and now look, there's only 12 teams left alive, and 2 of those are solos.
Massive for Saber here. Talk about a comeback story. And again, we talked about it, right? So YBS getting that onto Saber and then getting third-partied extremely hard, opening up the opportunity for Saber's team to come in and pick them back up and put them back into this match. K-Taco and them still just controlling this ballista. Talk about a great zone for K-Taco's team.
Yeah, we saw Daxi's team there get kind of rolled over. The Kurumi ult coming out just in time to save Daxi, who did manage to slip away and is now the last hope for his team. But as you were saying, YBS was just trying to finish them off, and they got rolled up on by a healed and angry Team 5 looking for revenge after their teammate got sniped down by that Viper ult combo. Now they've got control of the winery. Do they know that this player is hanging out inside the house? I mean, unless they check, there's no way they'd know.
Absolutely not. This player's just in here playing an entirely different game. Somebody get this man a cardboard box and call Solid Snake.
Look at him. He's just hanging out in there. He's fine.
Rizzo likewise just chilling in the bush over here.
Inches away from Doom, and he has no idea.
The shadow will shortly begin to
I mean, you hear
Yeah, we're
those
gonna see a lot of
footsteps
these
on the
people riding.
tiles. You hear those footsteps
Yeah,
on the tiles. You know somebody's right up there above you. The breathing is heavy, and you're just like, thump, thump. What am I gonna do? What can you do?
Well, they are 2 players. They're both in a really sneaky spot. So if anybody engages on Team 5, they certainly can jump in to try to pick up some kills. But, you know,
Saber down here in the
there's always
building.
that possibility that they get rolled up on.
If Saber turns this corner, King could hit him with this charged greatsword. Look at this. The ballista coming from up top. I don't know. If I'm Saber in
They
them,
don't know he's there.
if I'm King, I know. If I was King, though, I might have engaged onto that.
Oh, he slipped right by him. They still don't know he's there. They're
Zero
They're
right
clenching.
now is clenching the butt cheeks. Oh, we see K-Taco coming down to engage onto T-Fuzz and Saber's team. Huge ult coming out from K-Taco. Soul popping the Yoda ult as well. Huge damage coming out. Team
Spirit
5 here
Slash
trying to
narrowly
clap
missing.
back with their own Spirit Slash, but Zeno and them controlling this fight. Zeno gets rolled. Look at all these Yodo Fs. It's complete chaos down in the final zone here. K-Taco getting a heal.
K-Taco. That was huge. Saber came in with the clash on the K-Taco, who was about to finish off this Yodo.
Saber's team and them in a bad situation here. Soul, though, gonna take Saber down into Team 5. Misses the charged right click. They're both looking for it. Soul trying to find his team, but Soul is gonna go down. Mao looking to pick
now
Saber
charging
back up.
Yeah, he's got the stone form charging to threaten.
K-Taco with the wisps knocking him up.
It's always him. It's always K-Taco every time.
The Yodo F coming out here trying to buy themselves a little bit of space. K-Taco hiding around the corner, trying to get his teammate back in, but the zone with the cucked healing, I don't know if he can do it. This Viper ult, huge for Soul's team, Saber's team. King
King's
just
stunned out
stuck,
here, but
floating
Saber
out.
can't get him.
Saber, oh,
The pit-
into the
What?
parry with the punish. Saber goes down. King with a huge reversal at the last possible second.
That was some weird crap that just happened right there, because King got hit by the charge. You saw him take the damage, but he still got the parry off at the same time. He's gonna be thanking his lucky stars. Unfortunately, it's not meant to be, as he does get taken out, and Saber gonna get revived for what seems like the 90th time this game. Still
Saber.
hanging on. Is he gonna be able to actually get healed up with the threat from the other 4 players left alive?
Saber has got a guardian angel on his side right now, and his name is Mao.
They've saved this man so many times. Now we see T-Fuzz standing up here. K-Taco still somewhere in the distance, just throwing wisps out left and right. T-Fuzz now having to jump down here. Spots out K-Taco. This is big. They need to collapse on Team 5 if they've realized that they are together. They need to do something about it, because this is the team poised to take first place. They've already got a bunch of kills on their side as well.
K-Taco and Tifa's hiding up this tree, waiting for that perfect moment to engage.
Oh, wait a minute.
Saber into the
Hiding in
bush here.
Doing something a little sneaky here. They might be able to bait them in to what they believe is a 2v2. No, the zone's going to close, push that bush out of the zone. Now we're forced into what is going to be the final zone. The engagements are about to start breaking out. K-Taco healing inside of his ult. This is huge. T-Fuzz just hanging out up top looking for placement points, not willing to engage to take any of these kills.
We see a member of Team 4 go down. K-Taco huge into this fight, but there comes the Viper roll from March on to K-Taco. T-Fuzz looking to get involved, but sees the Yoda ult and says, I'm not about it. K-Taco goes down right at the edge of the zone. It's T-Fuzz versus Team 5. Mao and Saber, all of them rocking gold armor. What hope does T-Fuzz have? T-Fuzz is trying to give him the runaround, gets caught with the greatsword into the katana charge and goes down to Mao.
No surprise. We've heard this story 1,000 times. The solo trying to put something together, but he does get second place for his team, which is huge because they have 5 kills. Really nice moves there from him. I mean, man, what do you do when you're in the 3v1? You just die. He jumped. He didn't even give him time. He just jumped down and said, you just kill me.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's kind of interesting to keep in mind. Like, if your team had gotten a bunch of kills early on, then I guess making it to that point, still being able to try to put the multiplier on the kills that everybody else had earlier, I can definitely see the way that goes. But tough draw there for Mr. T-Fuzz and Team 5. I think Runekeeper, we got a quick glimpse at that end game screen before coming back, and I think we're looking at close to 20 kills for them on that game or something crazy. What a run.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Team 5 constantly putting it back together. The macro so strong from this team. Saber going down time and time again, but the team recognizing instantaneously every opportunity they have to bring Saber back into the game and never missing it, keeping their ranks alive. If they had gone into that last fight 2v3 or even into some of those 2v2s into K-Taco and that team at the end, I don't think they would have made it. But again, recognizing those opportunities to bring Saber back in, Saber's got to be counting their lucky stars that Mao had their back this game. That's 100% sure.
Yeah, teamwork coming in big. We're going to go to a break. When we return, we'll have the leaderboards updated as well as our second trios match. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be right back.
Clean shot. We're still friends. We're still friends, right? Nothing.
The may begin. Shame. Not the first.
Feed the earth.
Come, we fight.
Am I the only one attacked? Nothing personal.
What a hungry thing. My friends be healed! What a hungry thing the brave is. Die, filth.
I took my eyes for our god. Was it worth it? Yes. Nothing can hide from me any longer. I now know I was merely a tool to my mother. But I am more than she ever imagined. And I will see all that she has built burn. I am Viper Ning, the Crimson Knight.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again here with the Morus Cup Season 2 semifinals. We had a nice exciting finish to that last trios match, but of course, it gets a little bit awkward. Sometimes we have the really intense, it's like 2 teams are left, or the solo guy that's hiding out gets picked, but unfortunately, it was just Tifa's by himself to bring us to the conclusion of that one. So not a whole lot got in Team 5's way for that very final moment, and they were looking really strong towards the end of it. Odin, do we expect them to continue to dominate moving forward?
Well, we were just talking about this in the post game. It happens like every single time we see one of these trios games. Some team just goes nuts in the first game, and we're all just like, oh yeah, they got to be the winners, right? Like, there's no way they would have to die at the start of the next game and get no points, and then some other team would have to pop off and go crazy. And then inevitably, every single time, that is exactly what happens. They die right away, and some other team just pops off and goes nuts and gets like 10 more kills than them. So it's anybody's guess what could happen. It's their game to lose. We've talked about this every week. They have to play this careful. They got to repeat the performance and not rest on their laurels and expect everybody else to fail. They got to go out there and chase the success.
Great point, Runekeeper, as I believe the leaderboards are ready from the end of our first trios match. Team 5, unsurprisingly, on top. Not only did they get 18 kills somehow, but of course with that first place multiplier, Runekeeper, they're swimming in it. They've got almost double second place. They've got to be feeling good.
Oh yeah, Team 5 is sitting up there huge right now. But like Odin said, you can't discount every single week we've seen it. We're like, there's no way the first place team is going to get knocked out. The point gap is too much. And then another team just comes out from behind and rides that to the top of the leaderboard. Team 5 has got a huge advantage right now. But can they hold it? That's the question.
And I think that, well, when we talk about that, you get your eyes on them early on. Maybe a team that would otherwise try to run away will instead stick to that aggressive position. But, based on what we've already seen out of the solos matches and the conversation we had in last week's qualifiers, did we feel like that? I mean, okay, I guess I'm being a bit disingenuous here. As soon as we loaded into that game that y'all just did, a team had already died. So we're seeing that aggression come through with the new format, right?
Yeah, it was basically instant. I mean, I was still in the middle of like processing my thoughts. Like, all right, what's this game look like? Let's look at the spawns. Like, wait a minute, somebody's already dead. We see the same thing that we saw last week, which is that like by the time Zone 3 is at, the majority of the teams are gone. By the time the second zone came up, there were already 20 players dead. I think actually it came up to 18 after a couple people got res, but some of these teams didn't even get a chance to bring their soul altar reses to the end of Zone 1, which is what a lot of people like to do. They get really aggressive early on, and then they go, all right, let's go really far inward and get looted up and get control of the zone before people are starting to move in from the outer zones. Let's pick our fights with them when we're ready. But man, people were just out so early.
Yeah, it was kind of chaos the whole way through. Runekeeper, was there a particular player or a moment in that first game that stood out to you where you're like, okay, we got to keep our eyes on this going into game 2?
K Taco's team absolutely just dominating the early game there. Loot very strong. All of them rocking gold armor, while other teams maybe had 1 gold armor or most of them none at all. Just very strong loot, holding that ballista. I gotta give T-Fuzz a little bit of a nudge here. K Taco there. It's K Taco left T-Fuzz and a trio team. K Taco and T-Fuzz were both on top of the trees. K Taco realizes, all right, this is the situation. It's a 2v3. We're not on the same team, but we got to engage together. K Taco goes down and T-Fuzz just watches him get knocked around the zone and is like, nah, I'm not about it, homie, bye, and leaves him to fade. And then T-Fuzz by himself is like, well, I guess it's my turn, and drops down.
He didn't see him.
I love that. I love the visual that you've just painted. Perhaps we'll see him get a full team fight towards the end of this next one. The game is ready, so I'll leave it to you. Good luck and have fun.
Appreciate it, Nate. And of course, I want to see K-Taco take out T-Fuzz as revenge for that betrayal. The unspoken solos, when you're dealing with teams, you gotta help out. You gotta help out your boy. Okay, you see him in the distance. You're like, this is not good. Okay, you're gonna go take the 1v3. Everybody knows how these 1v3s goes when you're in the final zone. You ever won a 1v3 Rune against a good team that's all on top of you? Because I've never seen it happen.
I have had one experience where I have won the 1v3. It's hard. It's extremely hard. Looks like we're already getting some fights going out in Celestra here. Sunwing, some teams going down. People are gonna have to use the res. Technically only 48 alive, which means 12 people already gonna have to be using those reses and getting back to the soul altars.
Yeah, either Karens or Reses. I did see one Karen off in the distance there, so maybe some teams not going to be forced to do it just yet. But look at Casper picking up 3 kills early on. Shout out to Casper, who was playing despite some troubling times himself, and he was giving him some thoughts on Twitter about how he wasn't sure going into this game if he was going to be able to perform, but obviously he had the skills to back it up, just coming in here, playing his best, getting 3 kills immediately. You got to feel pretty good about that. That's like a reassuring thing when you get those 3 kills instantly. You get the ball rolling early. You feel like you're gonna go the distance.
Oh, absolutely. Again, those early kills can't be discounted with this new format here. Mart's here. It makes a huge player mistake and hits the shroom onto himself. Actually,
That might help them out because they're full health and everybody else is super low. If anything, they might force the other player to run away, and they're just going to die while they get chased down. Speaking of which, Pharrell Lord and company picking up a cheap and easy kill in that dreaded 3v1 situation as we over here look at the Shadow Jade mine.
Yeah, look, McFlurry's team, of course, the big winners for trios last week. Crazy Mad Taco just getting double juggled by King and Rezo here.
Yeah, they picked up Fight Me More in the meantime, too.
Mad City Mike trying to get into it, forces the reset onto the blue, and there's nothing you can do. Just into the stone form. That little bit of clash damage enough to take him out.
They did like 250 damage to him just on clashes. It's nothing you can do when you do get like perma-stun like that. You actually cannot do anything about it. So that was good awareness from the team to use the greatsword against him on defense there. Now for Alan Lord, quite low. They are in trouble because if you see, it looks like UP might be riding the ballista back there.
McFlurry. And he does take the ballista shot to the face, standing in a very bad situation.
He almost traded him out there, though. UP's low.
Hey, look, McFlurry's team here has got to not be happy with last match's performance, right? They won Season 1 of the Morus Cup for trios. Their team absolutely dominated the last match and brought them back over a dominant first position, like we were talking about at the beginning of this match, other team. And last match was not a great showing for them. Constantly on the back foot, picking up a couple of little kills, but not riding high on the leaderboard like they're used to.
There's a big clash there. The Valda ultimate coming out there. Bond actually just narrowly avoiding that. Bond hanging on for dear life here. Actually, Bond was the one that popped that ult. Looks like nobody got caught in it. But Bond grappling up into the sky, getting shot. Only one pellet connected for the pistol. It's not going to be enough to finish him off. He gets grappled out of the sky, though, and that's going to be the end of it as Bum connects with the musket. Nice shots there. But, quickly, a third party coming out. I said the rest of his team. No, Team 12 on the cliff here taking shots at him.
The shadow will shortly begin to
Team Booty here getting the reset after winning that nice fight. Trick, another strong contender from solos here with his team this time around. They had an okay performance last round, and then YBS knocked them out. So they're not completely out of this game. They could easily rack up some kills and have a good performance and climb this leaderboard.
Yeah, I mean, any of the teams that are still in the game currently have a possibility to take it all. We've definitely seen some really amazing comeback stories in these trio games, especially in Game 2, where it's all on the table and you're really not sure if that #1 team is going to hold on to their seed or if they're going to get shut down. Almost in every single case, it has happened in reverse. Mawai now getting clashed into. What?
Massive clashes, but he manages to recover and gets the stone form into the fully charged left mouse button there. All those clashes,
also,
though,
smart
doing
move there from him using the ult there to shut down the enemy ult, give his teammate the opening to get in, and now Chaos King has no ult of his own and is getting 3v1'd.
We see the Wisps come out, Meow trying to get the aerial as well, stick on him, but it looks like Chaos King is going to go down to the rest of his teammates anyway.
Yeah, so they did one surviving member of Team 13. They do have their soul altar on the table, so they're going to run for that, but the shadow is currently spreading. they're going to need to balance their runtime versus the zone close. They need to take a look and take stock of whether or not they want to go further in, if they can even afford to make it that far. Wow, same Matcha and Nerdy get taken out by a huge combo from YBS.
You hate to see, but YBS wanting to claim their crown back again. Saber's team, you know, they took Saber out last round, made the mistake of chasing too deep. Saber came back up and third-partied them after they chased too deep, and we're like, nah, we're going to get revenge for Saber. You know they're hurting about that.
Yeah, definitely some salt in the wound there, especially after they shut down Saber so immediately and didn't even really take a follow-up fight with the rest of the team. But yeah, I mean, they're in a good position now. They're fairly geared up. Blue weapons, purple armor here and there. Some good jades. We see a legendary status jade on YBS, the Tarka G, and some purple attack jade there on, or sorry, the defense jade there on the Viper. So they're feeling okay right now. They got decent gear, decent amount of pots and Vitalia. So picking up a quest. Not much happening right now. If we could maybe fly out, take a look at the map, check out the zone, as we do have 47 players left alive, and we're coming up to the close of Zone 1. A bit quieter of a game so far than what we had in Game 1, but not by much.
Most of these teams without their Karens guaranteed at this point. But YBS here still holding on to theirs. Doing these quests, this is really smart, right? I do this a lot myself in games. You go to some of these high-risk areas and you win those fights, and then you have all those quests available in places like Celestra and Eventide and Soul Jade Mine. Those quests are where you're going to make your money, right? Because those early players, they don't have any money for you to take off of their bodies. So you might rack up an early, 7 or 8 kills, but then you've got no money to fall back onto to pick up things you need. K-Taco here in an extremely bad situation. 3 spears looking him in the face. He's trying to get that heal off, gets caught on the stump.
Himself. But there was no damage to come from it because all he had was a white spear, and it doesn't do very much. Unfortunately, those low-grade weapons, when you come back from the Soul Altar, are really weak. You really need to seek out a better weapon as fast as possible. March picking up a kill on a Soul there, and Zeno down as well in the background. It's just up to K-Taka, who's going to come back in here and try to do something. I mean, what choice does he have? Yes, either get some kills, get his team here, or just rat it out to the end and hope for another 3v1 situation.
And it doesn't look like they're going to make it. They go down. I'm not sure if they have their soul. They do. They do have their resets, which is why he comes in here and tries to play something into the zone. As long as you get it off, though, before it closes all the way, you can keep running until the big timer runs out. It is bad, though, to take that reset this late into the first zone. There's not a lot of places left to loot, and every little piece of loot you're going to have to fight for. T-Fuzz here catches the charge right-click on the Meowai, but T-Fuzz, no health, needs to get inside the zone.
Did we see am I imagining things? Is this just my brain pretending it saw something because it wanted to see it? Or did we see K-Taco run by laughing at T-Fuzz right there?
I think you might be right.
All right, the Soul Altars are off the board there as Mao picks up a kill onto LGBT. This is difficult. Saber now picking up a kill as well on a bum. Saber's team, we talked about this. They needed to be aggressive, stay on the offensive, and pick up those kills and establish dominance early on. It looks exactly like they're going to do that. Can they be the first team to have back-to-back wins, or at least high enough placement to make sure that no second place sneaks up on them?
Right? I mean, Saber's team, great performance last match, and it looks like they're going to repeat it this match, which is, that's what you got to do. Like you said, you can't rest on your laurels. You've got to come in here, and even if they only get some strong kills early before they have to reset, that can be just enough to establish them, and they're doing extremely well right now. We see a huge ult coming out here. We got Chaos King's team here, and Balrog with the dagger here, trying to get some action in. The fireball to the face, though. completely
Yeah, Balron actually
shreds
took a
their armor.
ton of damage there because he had the gold focus from the dagger, so he actually blew through both those fireballs. That Blackout Bolt and just melting his armor. And now Team 13 is actually going to be forced to back off. It looks like Jeremiah got picked off there. So now the 2v3 situation, they're going to have to make some kind of miracle happen here. There is no ult for Chaos King. There is no ult for Balron.
No, but
this is
third
tough.
the third party happening here, they could potentially go back in and pick up Jeremiah if they play smart.
Ooh, nice
Huge headshot from Balrang onto Team 3 there. They're going for this.
Sneaking it. They're sneaking
Oh,
it. Ooh, the
Yubi
fireball,
is
though. It's
not
interrupt
going to
it.
let it happen. Yubi looking to deny it. The grapples using the gold charge here to avoid the grapples, get below it. Great play by Balrang here.
This is dangerous, but they definitely have an opening here. Balrog recognizing it, going for the res. Yupi's team having control of the high ground now. Just trying to chase down. It's one remaining player. Chaos King just giving him the slip while they wait for his teammate to get the res. But, oh, he's getting locked down. This is really dangerous. They might be trading one for the other. Chaos King going down. Yupi's got to turn around and quickly deal with the ones behind him, or they're going to end up in another third-party situation where Chaos King's teammates get him up. But no, actually, Jeremiah never got res, as it looks like Balrog's team fell victim to the third party as well.
A tough situation when you've got the third party coming in like that. You have got to time that res ever so perfectly, because if one member of that team happens to look back and isn't focused on the fight in front of their face, this is exactly what happens. UP throws the fireball, resets it. Team 5 over there comes in and throws an attack and stops the res. Jeremiah comes up at the perfect moment, and then Team 5 comes back and ends Jeremiah. What a huge Nesh's Might that comes out!
Juno dude getting shut down by Will 1v1 before the first part of the Spirit Slash could do any damage, and that may have secured the fight, because that Spirit Slash was going to hit the whole team and it would have knocked them away. Very different situation could have been on board there, but they do end up securing the full kill. Nobody on their team going down. Yuppie now popping this Blackout Vulcan once again. Huge damage from this big rage build, just pumping out ults left and right.
The sweep coming out from JJ in. Oh, buddy.
What? He crouch
canceled the Nesh's Might. JJ's got to feel so bad about that, but Yubi still goes down. Voxel trying to hold it down, but it's not going to matter because JJ catches him with the sweep again.
Despite a little bit of an error there from Jaje, he makes up for it in spades after he takes out the entire team with some impressive footwork from the spear there, getting those crouch low sweeps. A lot of damage, a lot of hit stun, very good follow-up. Good execution there from the team to recover from that. Man, that was nice. Jaje, he's like, oh no, why did I cancel that? But immediately makes up for it. That was very impressive.
You could feel how panicked he was when he accidentally crouch canceled that too.
I don't know if he maybe had like a different combo in mind. It's one of those things like when you're playing a fighting game and you're thinking about all these different combo routes that you have, and like you just forget which one you started with. You do the wrong thing. You're like, wait a minute, that's not what I meant to do.
So you can actually into the Nesh's Might and do like 1 or 2 hits, cancel it by having only clicked it once, crouch cancel into an uppercut, and you have the positive frames from the gold focus to actually hit them into another aerial. It's very hard to hit, so it's potentially what he was going for there.
YBS's team looking very strong still. They're down at the bottom of the hill there as Team 4 here decides to back off instead of engaging with them. Marsh's team has been a menace with the third parties so far this game, but for Alan Lord's team, they're hungry for blood right now after the performance from Game 1. They definitely spotted them, so Team 4 here has to watch their back. Actually, it looks like YBS is going to be engaged with them. This is huge. One of these teams is probably going to go out here. These are both very aggressive style players.
Ooh, huge ult coming out here from Alan Lord's team and McFlurry's team. Oh, they get the stuns. YBS here. Of course, this player getting away from it, but it looks like the rest of his team is just going to go down to this ult. Will 1v1 team shows up here now as well. It's a third party.
Absolute chaos here. It looks like there's another team looming in the distance that wants to pick this up as well. This could end up in a 4-way fight. 25 players left alive, and that number is going down fast. Ults dropping left and right. Rizzo just trying to get a heal off, but getting shot off in the background. I'm going to need to drop back. Team 14 desperately trying to make their way in as they are looking to pick up that one member that went down in the middle. But Hero pop it off with the big Spirit Slash. Tons of damage on a Will 1v1.
huge here. All of these teams looking, they see this opportunity. Look at all these kills available on the board, right? When you see that many players with no armor, your ults are available, you come in for the third party, you potentially pick up huge points for your team into something like this. The parry coming out. Casper using the whips to reset, but
Saber going down again. Wait a minute. Saber's not the only one down. This is a different tune from last time. Mao is now the sole survivor on his team, and Hero is quickly looting up all that golden shiny goodness. It's going to be not long before they have nothing left to reclaim, even if they do get the res. So Saber's team in a lot of trouble. You know, it's good, though, because they got a lot of kills early on. We saw them popping off, so it may have been enough, but since they're not going to get the high placement points, could be enough for one of these other underdog teams to make the difference.
Mao has the option to go back in and res these players, but with all these teams still here, it might be smarter with the early kills that they picked up for Mao to just rat it out to the end and try to get that extra bonus from the placement.
For sure. I definitely agree that just going for the placement at this point would be the smarter thing to do. He could potentially get one of his teammates, although it looked like the Yoda there was actually down for the count just about as the Karen was pretty much out of timer when we looked over it. Saber was on fresh, but looking over on the distance, I don't think we see them anymore. It looks like Mao is the only player left alive.
King's team here with Will 1v1 and crew actually just controlling that fight extremely well. Picked a great time to third party in, and when they third partied, King using that Timon very defensively and getting them out from a sticky situation with the Yoda ult, and then them resetting and just controlling the battlefield, getting to pick all that good loot. They've set themselves up for victory here.
King in a similar situation. We saw him last game. He loves hanging out on these Raptors. Fight me more. Eating some shots, and oh no, this is bad for him. The F gonna save him for a moment. Good idea to pop the ult immediately and scare the team off. This is one of the things that's great about Yoda-Hime is she's so safe to engage with when you have ult and F on board. Because if you do get in situations, you can answer back.
I love
Crazy Mad gonna get traded out though.
The sense from Fight Me More here, though, saw the rest of the team coming in, ate the parry, used the chance to get a little bit of damage, and then shift out so that they can get the reset. But it's going to be very hard for Mad City Mike and Fight Me More to pick up Crazy Mad in the situation he's in with the Bane Breath.
He's gone. There's no way. There's not enough timer left. They're gonna. It's a 42 seconds left on that Bane Breath. They would have to go in there and pray to the RNG gods that a burst doesn't hit them. That is lights out for Crazy Mad. I see no possible way they can get him back there. So now we've got No Fair's team here, Team 3, controlling the inside of Shadow Jade, which is where the zone is coming down to. And look, once again, third zone coming up to the fourth. Only 20 players left alive, and that number's about to drop as Crazy Mad's Karen disappears. This is again, we're seeing these hyper aggressive games, especially after seeing the performance from Team 5 last game. You know, these players know they need to pop off and go huge.
King and Fight Me More in a fight with Rezo. Mad City Mike going down. Fight Me More, the only one left on their team. King, Rezo, and Will 1v1 are not the people you want chasing you. This last zone is nothing you can do. The healing cook, Fight Me More, just trying to stay alive for a few more seconds, but it's not going to be enough.
18 players left alive now as we are just landing on zone 4. This is huge. Miaowai and team, oh man, they were like hanging out in this building getting ready to jump on anybody that was going to walk in. Team 12, the entirety of Team 12 is hiding there, just daring somebody to come in. They got to be careful though, because they could get Tamulk and Yoda-Hime ulted, and that would be absolutely lights out if you're stuck inside like that.
McFlurry over here by themselves hiding out. Rizzo manages to find onto him. McFlurry, this is huge opportunity for him to get away, but it's not going to matter because the double grapples come out onto McFlurry. McFlurry going down.
Instant shutdown as Will 1v1 gets the big slam from the right click. Rizzo, though, now on the back foot as they are getting engaged on by Team 3. The Yoda-Hime F coming out, as well as the ult. Big heal from Will 1v1, popping that Kurumi ult to get Rizzo top back off so that he can continue to fight.
We talked about seeing Kurumi's, right? How much stronger she is right now. The fact that Will 1v1 was just able to pop a button and get Rizzo back into that fight while Rizzo was already ulting and on the defensive, knowing that when you come out of that ult, you're on those negative frames, you're extremely vulnerable, and just says, nah, I'm going to save Rizzo and get my team back in this fight, and that's exactly what they've done. King over here, separated from their team. Trying to get back into it.
Yeah, Team 3 here now got control. They're gonna go
Rizzo
ahead and,
down.
yeah, Will 1v1 now stuck in the 3v1. Will does have the tether up, but it's not going to matter. Rizzo actually not going to get res here. Will 1v1 just clinging desperately to life. No fair, just kind of leaving it up to his team, just assuming they're going to find him. And they do. They end up picking up Will 1v1. 15 players left alive as Team 4 does chase down the last remaining member of Team 6.
King knocked up here. This is not the situation we want to be in. Goes for the parry, but times it wrong. And King is going to go down, the last man standing on his team. Nostrad, Casper, and Hero still in this. Up here, picking up some of these nice kills. Picked No Fair off, who was separated from their team up here, trying to watch this Karen. And that's exactly the situation you don't want to be in. Split up from your team, trying to watch a Karen. They're off chasing a kill. It's not where you want to be by yourself.
So Hero, Casper, and Nostrad actually looking pretty strong right now. Gold weapon, gold armor for all three of them. We've got some dagger, katana, and longsword. And there's a Morus about to spawn here. Actually, Casper does not have a gold armor, but that's about to be remedied as they roll up to this Morus blessing. You got to be careful, though, as Team 3 and Team 4 are watching it like hawks. Oh, wait a minute. Team 4 doesn't know that Team 3 is behind them. Team 3 could roll up and do something cheeky here, but they need to be careful about it because it's very quick to turn around with a coordinated team.
Absolutely. We hear a little fight going down in this gorge here. A fight in just the sliver of what's left of the zone here. Team 4 and Team 3 trying to find a good engage onto one another. It just doesn't happen for Team 4. It looks like they're going to back up and reset.
ASPT is just, look at him. You see him hungry to land that Dragon Rush into the Neja's Might. He was just dashing around, constantly charging up to that second state. They're just looking for some kind of connection here. But, okay, looks like Casper did secure the gold armor, and, man, they are so stacked up now. Hero eating a shot in the back, but with this terrain, I'm sure they're not too terribly worried about it. They are running towards Team 3, but that's a 3v2, so Team 3 is going to have to be careful about how they take this.
Mao out here, by the way. Can we talk about this? Mao, last player left on their team, sees Nostrad and crew, all of them with gold weapons, gold armor, and still takes the bow shot. Says, I am not afraid.
Yeah, maybe a little overconfidence there, but of course he was pretty far away. It's not like they're going to be able to jump on him for free. The thing that's dangerous, and you've talked about this before, is that when you try to chase down that solo, you find yourself in the situation where you tunnel in and all of a sudden another team rolls up on you. They see the perfect opportunity to catch you by surprise. I think they kept their composure, just said, all right, I got shot in the back, whatever. Look at the position they have right now. This is amazing for them.
Oh,
so many good little nooks and crannies to dip into. Low ground, high ground for them to avoid ranged combat, but take it on their own terms. They've all got ults. This is big for them. They are definitely poised to take this match if they can keep their composure.
This is such an interesting zone as well, right? Nostrad and them controlling a great portion of the map, too. On this side of the map where all these fights are going on, there's little nooks and crannies, there's places to hide, there's way to engage safely, but Nostrad's team up the hill, a clear line of sight across the entire zone to them as well, so that this is exactly what they should be doing, too. Engaging at range here because these players have no choice but to push into them.
That was so clean from the Simone. You see him use the F to pop up through that tiny little gap and sneak out from underneath. That was so clean. SPT and company changing shots with Team 12 here. We've got Team 4 controlling the outer south zone there. Or sorry, the east side of the zone with Casper's team on the north side. And Team 12 on the southwest side. Team 3 here in a very difficult situation. They want to probably just camp out inside this house and hope nobody pays attention to them.
Nostrad's team here, Team 11, again, controlling that high ground, forcing these players out into an open zone across them, but it's looking like the zone is going to close in a very interesting situation. So many little places, verticality, and just movement options for all these players. Nostrad's team wants the straight up fight because of their team comp here. Oh, the huge
so bad for Hero.
Hero completely.
That's so bad for Hero.
There's no place to go. Oh my
God.
God.
Wisps out of nowhere. That wasn't even from their team. That was from Team 3. The Wisp support from Team 3. And now Casper and Nostrad are down to the 2v3. That was so unfortunate for Hero. He threw out that preemptive Yodo F to try to block an incoming grapple, thinking that they were going to engage on him. As a result, he ends up getting wisped, and there was no answer. He didn't see it coming. Now Casper and Nostrader are just going to have to give him up and go for the 2v3.
That was so huge for these other teams. They had such a dominant position on this map, and now Casper and Nostrade on the back foot here, standing in the Yodo F. Casper just trying to get that ult off so they can get the reset. Nostrade is just...
They actually do pick up 2 kills there. This is big for them. If they can finish this guy off before the next team rolls up, they are inside the win prison, but Casper gets clapped with the big uppercut, charge right click, barely surviving as he gets back inside the zone, using the scale rush off the side of the wall to get some verticality, getting the wisps up to protect himself from the range. Maybe he's going to get a heal off as his teammate is protecting, but no! Oh my god, out of nowhere, Team 3 just pops up and snipes that kill. Sorry, Team 4.
Casper, what graceful movement there. Every second making the exact right movement. Just not enough, though, when these teams are targeting you out. It's so hard to make those things happen. March here trying to catch somebody out with this flamethrower. We see a lot of these little skirmishes, players engaging and backing off, and then resetting and coming straight back in. But there's not going to be much of this zone left.
This is absolute chaos. The zone is so small, and there's so many little ramps, walls, line of sight breaks. This is actually going to get super dangerous as the zone is going to be broken up by this wall. A big Nege's Might coming out onto Panda, who's also getting flamethrowered. No hope of escape from that situation. Team 4 now turning it around. This is a 2v2 between Team 4 and Team 3. There is one person left alive on the cairn, but they cannot revive him. He's outside the zone. March taking some zone damage to try to repair up this flamer as his teammate takes the 2v2.
Nostrade still alive. The one solo left, getting the Viper ult out. Nostrade here trying to pick up some extra kills for the team. Great placement if they can do it, but Nostrade gets knocked into the zone, gets gate kept by Team 3 and goes out.
Now this Temulk, the last remaining hope, or sorry, the Temulk on the opposing team, the last remaining hope, as they are engaging, knocks him down off of there. It is a 2v1, it is winnable, but this is going to be very difficult. Oh, the big greatsword,
so
left click from the air. Oh, so much damage. If he could just connect with the right click, that might be it, but gets hit with the charge right click of his own. He teleports up, just enough space to get a heal off, maybe, but getting chased down. March 14, can he find the connect? It's anybody's guess who might die here. March died to the zone.
Dude, March 14
no, March
is
still alive.
Hit, but the parry, the damage from the parry doesn't kill him, but he gets up with the scale rush. No way! Team 3 actually claims the win in this 2v1.
Team 3 actually pulling that off right there. That was so close that Team 4 almost had that 2v1. I lost track of it in the middle of that chaos. I couldn't even tell heads or tails of who was alive there. Everyone flying in and out. But an amazing pull to the end from Team 3 there, who pulled through that entire final zone with only 2 players up against so many stacked teams. Amazing job. They got to be feeling great about that.
That's scale
indeed.
Rush. The scale rush at the very end, they're just so beautiful, perfectly timed for Team 3 to claim that last little tick of life. Staring down the barrel of a flamethrower, no fear, just hits him.
I could feel all my evil tendencies in gaming coming out there. The flamethrower, March 14th, was doing a beautiful job. I even got a little bit distracted. I'm like watching this intense 1v1. You guys called it beautifully, by the way, and a great finish. And then it clicked. I'm like, oh, March 14th. Oh, it's Pi 314. There you go. So Pi taking second place, or at least getting their team to that spot. But got to give a shout out, though. We were talking about Nostrad, our solo champion from season 1, holding it down without the rest of his team, Odin, and at the very least doing his best to create as much opportunity for them to place as high as possible.
He came out swinging. That Viper ult actually made a big difference in the pacing of that fight, and 2 people got stunned by it, and I think 1 person died as a result. It was a very, very unfortunate turn of events as Hero got caught by a random wisp that just came out of nowhere. The other team saw him wisped up. They all took advantage of it and just headshot him while he was in the wisp. Extremely fast coordination from Team 12 there to just completely crush the hopes of Casper's team, but they did hold on for such a long time and almost managed to pull it out at the end there, but it wasn't meant to be, as Team 3 just shut everybody else down. Very close at the end there, though, as March almost won that 2v1 that would have been so hype.
Yeah, if it weren't for the scale rush, right? I mean, the timing on that, Runekeeper, you know, all you need to do is be off by a millisecond, and all of a sudden that turns around real quick on you.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're staring down the barrel of that flamethrower. You're on fire. You know 2 more ticks from fire is going to kill you. You're looking at your opponent with 1 tick. You're sweating. You have every opportunity to miss that. And the composure he had just to cling up on the wall and pop that scale rush in the hope that he was going to land that 1 tick. And he makes it before the fire ticks. And just, he's got to be feeling so good about that right now.
Yeah, when we talk about any sort of competitive event, whether in real life or in gaming, something that I feel like always kind of needs to be there for a champion to really, you know, emerge is confidence. You have to be able to look at a situation where a lot of people would say, I don't know, maybe I try to come back and heal again or whatever, and it costs them everything, right? That flame tick gets on, but the confidence and the courage to go through that and be like, okay, I can make this happen. I know that I can make this play is just awesome to see. And while we wait for the leaderboards to come through, I want to just get your overall thoughts on this. You know, we've had a couple weeks now with the new format. We've gotten to see that aggression turned up, and we're going to bring the leaderboards up while I get that answer from y'all. Team 5, we know that they crushed it, Runekeeper, but wow, barely a point, not even a point difference on this?
0.9.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
I don't even know what to say.
They had 22 kills apiece.
That multiplier, baby, is worth it. It's worth getting that late finish. Oh my goodness. What's the takeaway on that one, Odin? Team 5 absolutely crushing it, but making it off of not only having those kills, which we talked about. Of course, the kills are important, but it's the combo of having the kills and making it late. So, I mean, overall, the performance is a better finish, but it's on such a thin margin. They had to have been sweating it a little bit.
We've never seen anything like that, not even remotely close. Like, we've said with confidence, like, it's always the team that gets that first place. Like, oh, yeah, they're just going to, we're good. We don't have to worry about it getting it. They were this close to losing it. This close. And, I mean, Rune. 0.9.
Oh,
0.9.
Look, it comes down to that fight that Will 1v1 started. That third party into that huge fight where they knocked out 2 of Team 5's members. That last member making the decision to go, okay, I need to rat and get placement at this point, right? Knowing that they had secured a couple of kills, only 4 kills. Remember, they had 18 kills in the first game. They secured 4 kills early, and your team's down, and you go, I've got to make the smart decision. I've got to make these 4 kills count for as many points as possible. And they let their team go down, ratted off, made it as far as they could to the end, and made those points happen.
Yeah, and you know what? We talk about that. It was a great performance, but today's just the semifinals, ladies and gentlemen. Those top teams are all advancing to next weekend's finals, where we will determine the Season 2 champion for the Naraka Blade Point Morus Cup Season 2. We'll get into the solos and the trios next Saturday. We'll see y'all there. That's it from me, Odin, Runekeeper, and Dabier. We'll see y'all next week for the finals. Can't wait. Have a great night, everyone.